Welcome, TFO faithful, to the Season 11 Season Recap. I am the TFO Commish. Can't stop the Raj, and we are celebrating 11 years of Excellencia. And this season was a king season, a king chaos season. Lot of people not liking the chaos card. I thought it was great. I thought the action, the adventure, every game I was on the edge of my seat. It was one of the greatest seasons ever to grace TFO. Thank you all for being part of such an amazing season. The season concluded last week, and here are the final regular season standings. First, the TFO 2023 Bad. In the Badass, in the Snap division, the Planet Viltrum wins the division 12-4. Wannabe Ballers picking up a wild card at 9-7. In the Badass Crackle, Stuff I Love wins the division at 10-6, with neither other Crackle team getting a wild card. And in the Badass Pop division, the Letterkenny Irish 11-5 win their division, with Broforce getting that wild card at 8-7-1. And so here is the Badass bracket. In the wild card matchup, we'll have Broforce taking on the Wannabe Ballers. The winner of that will face off against Planet Viltrum. And on the other side there, it's the Letterkenny Irish taking on Stuff I Love in that second round. As for the bad guy standings, the bad guy Snap, the Sunday Knights edge out Lord of the Rings. Sunday Knights 12-4 win the division. Lord of the Rings 11-5 get a wild card. And the classic Yacht Rock and Rap right there at the end, getting a 9-7 and getting that last bad guy wild card. The bad guy Crackle division, the Chicago Drunkards fight off the villains of cinema and win the division. And in the bad guy Pop division, the Logs keep rolling at 10-6. They win the division, where Oops, Wrong Sport and TMNT Tortures both having great records, unfortunately unable to make it to the wild card, to make it to the playoffs. And so here is the bad guy division. You've got the classic Yacht Rock and Rap taking on divisional rival Lord of the Rings in the wild card matchup. Winner of that will take on the Sunday Knights. And on the other side, the Logs roll into the Chicago Drunkards. Now let's take a look at the TFO 2023 Mad. In the Mad Dog standings here, the Mad Dog Snap, the American Gladiators 12-4 win the division, with the 8-Bit Brigade coming in at 10-6 and getting a wild card. Beer Gods 9-7, barely edged out by the Mad Dog Crackle Prophecy Destroyers, who also had a 9-7. But a better differential, so they'll be going to the playoffs. And the Second Amendment's 11-5, winning the Mad Dog Crackle division. And in the Mad Dog Pop division, Soccer World 10-6 wins the division. And here is the Mad Dog playoffs. In the wild card matchup, we will have the Prophecy Destroyers taking on the 8-Bit Brigade. Winner of that will face off against the American Gladiators. And on the other side, it's the Second Amendment taking on Soccer World. As for the Mad Max standings, the Mad Max Snap, the TV Dads, they were the first to win a division, 11-5. And Mad Max Crackle, the Shits of Leahy, 11-5, win the division, with the Time Variance Authority, 7-9, getting a wild card. And in the Mad Max Pop, the High Company, THC, the best record in TFO this season, 14-2. They win the division, as the 007 License to Kill, 10-6, gets the other wild card. And so in the Mad Max playoff bracket here, we have the Time Variance Authority taking on License to Kill in the wild card matchup. The winner will have to face that Tough High Company. And on the other side, it's the Shits of Leahy taking on TV Dads. That's bringing us to playoffs. The playoffs. Exciting! And I hope you're excited too, because this season, we're going to air the playoffs live on Twitch, twitch.tv/can'tstoptheraj. The bad playoffs will happen July 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and the mad playoffs will take place July 15th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., both Saturdays. 4 hours of action, 8 playoff games each weekend. The only 2 games that will not air are the Bad and Mad Bowl, and that's because they're going to air July 22nd live on Twitch, a premium PM Saturday show, 7:30 p.m. pre-show start time, half hour for the pre-show, and then we're going right into the Bad Bowl and right into the Mad Bowl. We're going to figure out who's the baddest and who's the maddest. And there's the brackets, the complete brackets for bad. And there is the complete brackets for mad. It's been a hell of a season, and each season we like to highlight the greatest players and elect them to the Pro Bowl. And so today we are going to announce those Pro Bowlers. We're going to start with the bad Pro Bowlers. And there they are, quarterback Master Splinter, TMNT Torturers, and quarterback Shane Falco of the Wannabe Ballers. Running backs Tossin Salad of Stuff I Love, Elisar Aragorn of Lord of the Rings, and Dexter Dooley of The Logs. Wide receivers Ricky Jarrett of Wannabe Ballers, Turtle Leonardo of TMNT Torturers, and Steve Austin of the Atlanta Maulers. Tight ends Titan Atlas of the Greek Legends, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers White Ranger of the legendary JDF, and the offensive line of Jamal Jackson, Wannabe Ballers, Chrome Dome, TMNT Torturers, Keith Von Horn, Chicago Drunkards, Jim Seals of the Yacht Rock and Rap, and Scary Nazgul of Lord of the Rings. Bad Pro Bowl defense. We got a D-line of Charles Green of the Wannabe Ballers, Battle Beast of Planet Viltrum, and Tanis of Letterkenny Irish. Linebackers Vontae Mack of Wannabe Ballers, Mauler of the Villains of Cinema, Paul Bunyan of the Logs, and Jerry Bircher of the Wannabe Ballers. Secondary, Battle Axe of Stuff I Love, Shitty Drawers from the Sunday Nights, Mount Bordork of the Strudel Squad, and It Pennywise of the Villains of Cinema. The backups for the defense, Dennis Rodman of Oops Wrong Sport, Neo Geo of the Sunday Nights, Conan of Stuff I Love, and Mahogany Jones of the Logs. Special teams, kicker, Sky God Uranus of the Greek Legends, I am a tree from the Guided by Voices, Clyde Drexler of Oops Wrong Sport, and Can't Stop the Raj of the Strudel Squad. Backups being Teddy Brosevelt of the Broforce, Goon Goldar of the legendary JDF, Roland of Letterkenny Irish, and Christopher Cross of the Yacht Rock and Rap. And you can see there a chart, and the Wannabe Ballers tying with the TMNT Torturers for the most offensive Pro Bowlers at 3. The Wannabe Ballers having the most defensive Pro Bowlers. Special teams, only one. No one had the most there. They're all tied. I even forgot to label JDF as a green one there. But overall, Wannabe Ballers, 6 Pro Bowlers, double second place. A dominant performance by the Wannabe Ballers. Previous TFO champions, Season 9, the Phoenix Bowl champions. Now let's go over to the Mad and see the Mad Pro Bowlers for 2023. Starts off with offense. Quarterbacks Barrett 50 cal of the Second Amendment and OG Runts of the High Company. Running backs Al Bundy of the TV Dads, Lionel Messi of Soccer World, and Purple Haze of the High Company. Wide receivers Bear Swift of the Care Bears, Swift Hawks of the Shits of Leahy, and Mad Moxie of the 8-Bit Brigade. Tight ends Ivan Drago, Italian Stallions, along with Dean Portman of the Mighty Ducks. And the O-line consisting of Bear Amigo of the Care Bears, Mohsin Nagant of the Second Amendment's, Waterbong of the High Company, Ron Cena of the Time Variance Authority, and Shit Flowers of the Shits of Leahy. Defensive Pro Bowlers, the D-line of Mr. Dream of the 8-Bit Brigade, Sour Diesel of the High Company, and Virgil Van Dijk of Soccer World. Linebackers, the Monarch of Venture Industries, Gladiator Crush of the American Gladiators, King Giant Trainer of the Prophecy Destroyers, and Titan Thrasher of Corn Stars. Secondary of Weird Alf of the Time Variance Authority, Gavin Rossdale of the Seattle Sound, White Lightning of the Beer Gods, and Les Chiffres of 007 License to Kill, with their backups being Climax Hour of Prophecy Destroyers, Kevin Moppet of Venture Industries, Bear Play-A-Lot of the Care Bears, and Left Eye of the Seattle Sound. Special teams kicker Walter White of TV Dads, punter Action Man of Venture Industries, kick returner the Shit Bum of the Shits of Leahy, and punt returner James Brown of the Italian Stallions, with their backups being Charles Miner of The Office, Connie Maru of Mighty Ducks, Simon Belmont of the 8-Bit Brigade, and Kay Kavaratsketel of Soccer World. And the bracket there, you can see the High Company with the most offensive Pro Bowlers at 3. Defensive tied with the Prophecy Destroyers, Venture Industry, and Seattle Sound. Special teams, all ones, nobody had twos. Total, the High Company edges everyone out with 4 Pro Bowlers total. Congratulations. Speaking of Pro Bowlers, we gotta talk about records and records that were broken this season. First, we have the TFO all-time records. This is from Season 1 to Season 11. Updated owner records. Most season wins. Rick Pittman now has 99 wins, the most wins of any TFO owner ever. He's also the only TFO owner to score over 5,000 cumulative points. Nick Dean with the most offensive pass yards with 35,603, and Dave Fogel taking the offensive running yards and season offensive yards records at 24,931 and 57,982 respectively. Team records, the Beer Gods are now the most winning team in TFO history. They have 97 wins. They also have scored the most points, have the most pass yards, have the most rush yards, and have the most season offensive yards. The Beer Gods, they've been here since Season 1. And they continue to truck forward. And the Beer Gods, a previous TFO champion, Season 4, the Odin Bowl champions. As for players, single season records, there were some broken here. Quarterback with most attempts, Master Splinter of the TMNT Torturers, threw for 354 attempts. He had 227 completions, which is another record, and 5,890 yards, which is another record. Elisar Aragorn of Lord of the Rings, running back with most receptions, 109 receptions. He also had the most yards for a running back with receptions, 2,492. And he also had the most touchdown receptions of a running back ever with 25 touchdowns total. Wide receiver with most receptions and most yards was Bear Swift of the Care Bears, getting 80 receptions and 2,960 yards. Tight end best reception yard average goes to Titan Atlas of the Greek Legends, who had an impressive 44-yard average on all of his catches this year. defense, most interceptions, the battle axe from Stuff I Love, 12 interceptions total. That ties the current record. Punter, best punt average, minimum 10 punts, goes to Goon Goldar of the legendary JDF, a 73.13 yard average. And then the kick returner, punt returner with most return yards, Clyde Drexler of Oops, Wrong Sport, combined with kick and punt returning, had 2,263 yards. Congratulations, these players are all legends. And speaking of legends, the top of the mountain every season is the MVPs. Who were the most important, the pinnacle, the greatest players that we have? Well, for the bad, offensive MVP running back Elisar Aragorn of Lord of the Rings. Bad defensive MVP goes to cornerback Battle Axe of Stuff I Love. And bad special teams MVP goes to kick returner Clyde Drexler of Oops, Wrong Sport. For the mad offensive MVP goes to running back Al Bundy of TV Dads. Mad defensive MVP left end Virgil Van Dijk of Soccer World, and the mad special teams MVP goes to kick returner the shit bum of the Shits of Leahy. Congratulations to all of our MVPs for 2023. We also had fantasy football this season. This is season 9 of TFO Fantasy Football, and it was by far the closest season we have ever had. And it came down to two owners. It came down to Brian Schuster of the Second Amendments and Rick Pittman of the Time Variance Authority. And here are the results, with Brian edging out Rick Pittman by 15 points in the closest TFO fantasy football ever. And there you can see the results. Brian at number 1, Rick number 2, followed by Rusty, Bobby, Seth, myself at number 6, what the hell, Eric, Mike Petrusek, Anthony Moyer, Michael Jenkinson, Jeremy Samuel, Nicholas Matthews, John Balog, Charles Boyardi, Tim Henriquez, and Joey Vincent Martini. Thank you all for participating in TFO Fantasy Football, and congratulations to Brian Schuster, the TFO 2023 Fantasy Football Champion, the Season 9 of TFO FF. And as always, the winner of TFO Fantasy Football will get the pleasure to name next season's blimp. There's some examples of some amazing, beautiful blimps that we have had previously. Brian, I will get with you before next season, and we will craft an amazing message to appear for Season 12, the dozen season. And that really leaves only one other thing to talk about, and that is the TFO Season 11 Championship, the Chaos Bowl. All roads lead to the Chaos Bowl. The winner of the Bad Bowl and the winner of the Mad Bowl will meet for the Season 11 Championship, and that will take place at 16-Bit Bar, August 26, 2023, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. ID needed for entry. You are all invited. Please come. It is going to be a great event. You're going to pay for your own drinks, but we've reserved tables. We've reserved a TV. We're going to be able to play up to 3 games, one of them being the Chaos Bowl, one of them being the Pro Bowl, and then there will be an additional game to announce later. The Chaos Bowl will most likely go on about 1:15, I would say 1:20. That'll be our closer, and then we will socialize and have a good time at 16-Bit Bar. Thank you, 16-Bit Bar, for hosting the TFO Championship. This is the 9th season that they have hosted the TFO Championship. The only seasons they didn't host was the very first season, which took place in my apartment, and the COVID season, which we did over Zoom. Well, that's it, baby. The next stop is the postseason. So I hope that you are excited. I am so excited. Again, the Chaos Playoffs will take place live on twitch.tv/Can't Stop the Raj, with the Bad going July 8th, Saturday, July 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and the Mad going July 15th. That's Saturday, July 15th. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you can stop in, please do. We will be having some special commentators jumping in to help me with the action. 8 games on both weekends. The only game that's not going on those weekends will be the Bad and Mad Bowl, and those will take place July 22nd live on Twitch. Can't Stop the Raj, with a pre-show starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you all for being fans of TFO Season 11 postseason. That's our next stop, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready for playoffs? Well, get ready. And we will see you this Tecmo!